We are back with our friend, the one and only Elizabeth Johnston, for part one of the two-part series on pornography. Joining Elizabeth is Sarah McDugal, author, speaker, trainer, and abuse recovery coach who works with women wounded by toxic relationships in the faith community. Today, we will be focusing on pornography in the church. Welcome, Elizabeth and Sarah. So good to have you tonight.
Hi, you guys.
What do you think, or why do you think, rather, the church is affected so significantly by pornography?
I think there are multiple reasons. And I believe it's really important to recognize the multiple layers, because I do think that is the role of grace, because there are so many factors playing in. It's not just a black and white issue. Number one is the devil loves to tear apart families. The devil loves to destroy relationships, and the devil loves anything that misrepresents the character and the heart of God. And the more often that we are looking at husbands, fathers, brothers, and grandfathers, and very often in the faith community, men who are in positions of spiritual leadership, the more often we are watching them act in ways that are deceitful, betraying, compartmentalized, abusive, and addicted, adulterous, abandoning, absent. We are feeling very often as women and children, those who are looking up to husbands, fathers, brothers, sons, we are wanting them and seeing in them what we believe is a reflection of the character and the heart of God as spiritual leaders and of Jesus. And the more that the devil can tear that apart at its foundation and have those men completely blaspheme and misrepresent the character of God, especially while continuing to call themselves spiritual leaders and continuing to assume power and control, which is its own problem, then the more we have barriers between us and God, because his character and his heart has been misrepresented to us. So it's harder to trust God. And that's a very spiritualized gospel kind of response. But also, I mean, porn is a big problem in the church because porn is available everywhere.
And so as God's people, we need to make sure that we are not minimizing or rationalizing this form of adultery because it leads to sexual exploitation and trafficking. It leads to divorce and broken homes. It leads to betrayal trauma, addiction, loss of natural affection for your family. Oh my gosh, the evils that are a result of eating this apple of pornography cannot be minimized. And that's why I wore my Mama Bear shirt tonight, because when we fight the minimization and the rationalization of pornography, we are fighting for our children. We are fighting the good fight as mothers, because pornography breaks homes.
Wow.
Elizabeth, you have stated churches and Christian ministries should be toxic for abusers. Instead, they often enable them. Can you explain this statement for us?
Yeah. I've in the last year had a whole world open up to me that I kind of did not know existed. I have been known for a long time as kind of the anti-feminist, if you will, and have had videos of mine go viral with me, basically, mocking the radical feminists. And I still do not agree with radical feminists on their support of abortion and homosexuality and all those things. However, I also was a little naive in not realizing how the doctrine of submission is a very convenient cover for bad people that are in the church. The world doesn't actually have a cover for abusive men, really, but the church actually has a scriptural cover for mistreatment of women, and women are losing their personhood right and left in abusive relationships. It's just really alarming what we're seeing taking place in the church, and we need to make sure that we are being a voice for loving leadership in the home.
Do you feel like that this is this has always been a big issue, or is it just a big issue now because you feel like people are talking about it?
Sarah?
I think that so I've done years of work with clergy spouses. That's been a niche of mine for more than 15 years, and I don't think that porn addiction and sexual addiction, infidelity, is anything new at all. I do think that there are two contributing factors to our awareness of it now in a different way. One is that pornography is now far more easily and rapidly available than it ever has been
Yeah.
in the history of ever.
Mhm.
And the second is that for the first time in, I mean, generations, ever, maybe, women and advocates of both male and female advocates are openly speaking out about it, and the subject is losing some of its taboo.
The church is extremely ill equipped to deal with these situations. They often put the woman in a situation with her abuser where she's having to do, marriage counseling, couples counseling. She's not safe. And the first priority should be getting the victim safe. And so many pastors do not know. And it's not that they don't want to know, and it's not that their intentions are bad. It's that they are not equipped, they are not trained. And a lot of these pastors need to be punting these issues to, licensed individuals who know
Go
how
girl.
licensed therapists.
Go girl.
Right. But
That's
Sarah,
right.
tell them real quick, they might be wrapping up here. Tell them the website of where, if a
Sure,
church, if a pastor
absolutely.
says, I want help, I want to train the workers in my church in this area, what is that website?
That is www.wilderness2wild.com. Imagine that you're coming out of the wilderness and moving into the wild.
very cool.
Wilderness2wild.com. We have free resources. We have resources in the Spanish language. We have a ton of giveaways. We have my podcast. We have online courses. And then we have booking events for training intensives, seminars, workshops, and so on. It's all there, as well as all the social media links.